Hey guys, it's Brian and welcome to episode 76 of our Liverpool career mode series. In today's episode, we have 3 games for a little bit of a longer episode too. I got the bonus one up a couple days ago. Show you guys what happened in those 2 big games we had against Newcastle and Arsenal. Those ones, for whatever reason, as I said before, were a little bit glitched up in the way that they're actually recorded, but these ones were all good. Unfortunately though, another thing I realized, because I recorded so many of these games back to back so I could have a lot of this saved up while my PS3 was away for a bit, I realized I actually missed a couple games on top of that too, which I apologize for, and those were against Stoke City and Chelsea, and I believe those came around episode 74 or so. I'm actually surprised no one actually said anything in the comments, so that went unnoticed, but still I wanted to make that something that was noted. I'm not going to be posting them up now. What happened in those games, just to get a little bit of highlight on that. So we beat Stoke City, and we had a really intense game at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea. I think we're actually leading at one point in that game, but then we gave up a late penalty at a 2-2 tie to give them a 3-2 lead, and they won the game overall. A really fun game that we had there, but yeah, whenever I get to the point where I have multiple games continually posted into my save files, sometimes, you know, for whatever reason, they usually line up one after another, and I'm going through editing several videos at a time, or, you know, at least putting together a lot at the same time. I can sometimes miss one thing or another when it comes to that. In this case, I guess for whatever reason, a couple of them were misplaced in a certain spot. That ended up being a mistake for me, unfortunately. I apologize for that, but we're very close to actually being back to the live stuff here after this episode. I think I've got one more game, and it'll be back to me playing, and it'll be back to the transfer deadline too, as we talked about. We're going to bring in one of those players that you guys really requested. It was going to be either Ogbonna or Kwadwo, as the 2 guys you guys named as the most interested. I think Varane was in there as well, but I was not interested as much in him. We'll jump back into this game here against Watford. This is in the FA Cup. We were knocked out of the Capital One Cup. Had a pretty good run there. Unfortunately, lost our way a bit, and we're doing pretty good here against Watford, a team that, you know, we probably should do pretty well against. Beat them quite handedly and then move on to the next round. And we got 2 goals early on in this game. It was good for us there, but then we accidentally get a free kick right on the edge of the box here, and a really nice goal by Watford to get them in this game late on here in the 82nd minute. That's going to give them a chance here. And with that said, it's not going to go our way, and we're going to give up a late goal here as well, which is going to be really defeating because we held the lead. We really dominated in this game, and you can see it's just a little bit of a dink into the corner there. Shouldn't have let Yeats have that space, have that opportunity, but we did. And with that said, this is going to be a draw, and we're going to have a replay against them. And that's the 3rd game of this episode. That's why I didn't mention the games that we're playing this episode. Move on to play here Southampton after this game, but then we'll have a replay against Watford, which is always fun for an episode, is playing the same team twice, not moving ahead there, but it is what it is. And like I said, I really like their free kick goal that they got there. So yeah, we got Kwadwo, there was the guy, and Ogbonna, the 2 that I really focused on. And for whatever reason, again, last episode, there were some issues with the actual you know, recorded gameplay there, and a lot of that gameplay is actually me making transfers too, so I wasn't able to show that off. But we're going to sign Kwadwo here. He's one that wasn't as expensive. That wasn't necessarily the reason that we brought him in. I really liked his pace that he could have. He was pretty tall as well. He was about, you know, 1/3 the price of Ogbonna. Maybe a little bit less than that. That's bad math from me. But at the same time, too, a guy I feel like we could bring in. He's not going to ask for that, you know, starting role constantly, because we already have Caulker, we already have Agger, and we already have Julien in Germany, which are 3 center backs have done fantastic for us. On top of that, too, Micah Richards can come in there. We got a lot of guys playing there, but those guys have been injured. And Agger's kind of on the outskirts of the team now. He's still playing, he's still getting his opportunities, but he's a bit slower. He's the slowest center back that we have now. And for me, at least, I really prefer having a center back that has that pace, has that ability to continually move the ball, continually, you know, keep up the pace. If there's a ball that's being moved over, there's a chance it's going to be coming against us. I want him to be able to keep the pace that he's going to be able to stop that opportunity from going into our net. And I feel like sometimes with Agger at this point now, and I had this kind of conversation early on in his career mode with Gerrard, is that, you know, I respect the player immensely, but the fact is, when it comes to a certain point where he's not able to keep up with the actual play, that's when things start getting a little bit dangerous for us, at least. And in this game here, we got him starting. We'll see how he does. But yeah, a good start for us in this game. And Stephen Caulker there, not Kwadwo, but he's getting the goal for us. And we've really been good off the corners as of late. That was something that we struggled on early in the career mode, but we've really kind of pulled that around. Nice to see him get a goal here. Holtby with a big chance to put something away. Not able to do that, though. But the first half was pretty solid for us. We got some good opportunities, tried to, make a couple more, and we're able to get some nice chances. That one was nothing really there for us there. But that's how the first half ends. We get a 1-0 lead, which is a nice lead for us here. And this game was about, playing a little bit better defense because we've not necessarily done the best of that in the last little while. I've made the fact that we had so many injuries on the back end an excuse as well to let that happen, which is never a good excuse. If you ever get to the point where you have so many injuries where you're like, well, you know what, we're giving up goals in this game because we just don't have the proper defense. That's never the answer, because if you don't have those players, you're making an excuse for yourself right now. And, you could probably do without them in other cases, so I felt like that was something that I needed to kind of conquer in this game here. And, something that we actually do pretty well, and we really kind of tried to keep it in their end as much as we could. There was nothing really that was extremely taxing on their keeper. There were a lot of chances that were missed or blocked shots. There was the biggest chance for them in the second half as they got one off the bar there. That could have been the tying goal in this game. And there was a weak-footed shot there that could have done a little bit more. But you know what? That's okay, because we're going to be able to close this one off here with a win against Southampton. So nice win for us, because you know what? They've actually really elevated their game in the last couple of years or so in the league. They've really kind of upped themselves. Last year they got to that point where they're actually doing pretty good. And this season's been very similar as well. But yeah, with that said, we get the win here, which is in the league as well. So we got 3 points there. We're doing pretty good in the league. You guys can see where we are in the standings. We're still fighting for that top spot in the league right now. It's not secure yet. We're going to still have to work pretty hard to get there. But that's coming in the wings there. So with that said too, I've got my PS3 back, and I can also play some games against you guys. I have one video for the NHL series of Versus up, or not up, but I have one in the wings I'm about to post, and also one for FIFA. But with both those said, I'm working on a couple things. I got this something called Music Maker or Music Creator. I forget the exact name, from the Steam sale. I had a previous music program that wasn't as good. I try and make my own, content for my channel where I can not necessarily make it look very half-assed. I want to put something out like the Versus series with an intro, something like that. So I've been sitting on some things like this because, when I go into making a Liverpool episode, it's pretty simple. I just have my routine that I already do right now. It's set in stone the way that I make this series. And yes, I do change things from time to time. When I'm starting up a new series like Versus, I'd like to have a nice intro for that, rather than, when I started up Liverpool, it's very much something that I hadn't had that much experience with at the time. So yeah, officially I have some stuff ready to go. I have some stuff that's ready to come out, and I've been sitting on it. I actually wanted to get it out quicker than it has already been. But with that said too, I also wanted to make sure that, I've been working on the music that I wanted to use for a couple different things, and very close to having that ready. So the NHL one will be up first, and I'll have the FIFA one up after that too. And pretty much the kind of idea of the whole Versus series is I'm going to be playing every game that people challenge me to. And what that's going to mean is that there's going to be some games I'm definitely going to have a better opportunity in. And I know for a fact as well, like I feel pretty confident when I play NHL. I feel like I'm a very solid NHL player. I've played that game for such a long time. FIFA's a little bit different. I don't play on the top difficulty. I haven't been able to get there yet. And that's something that I feel like, it frustrates me. I've talked about this a bit actually in my NHL Versus video, that it frustrates me for FIFA that I'm not as good of a player as I could be. And yes, I could continue to grow on that. But it's like this, I have this instilled understanding of like how I play when it comes to NHL that I've built over years and years of playing that game. My playing for FIFA has only been about 3 years consecutively. Before that, I picked up a FIFA game every once in a while. But I've gotten to the point now where I'm, following the series every year, and I'm really into it now. And obviously with the channel and the YouTube channel and all that stuff that I do for FIFA, it's completely changed where I'm doing a lot more FIFA than I was previously. But at the same time, I don't have that exact, knowledge maybe that a lot of other people do, and a lot of other people maybe bring to YouTube. So I feel like that it frustrates me in ways, because I try and be a good player, try and, change things up. But when I play NHL, I get really creative sometimes. I try and be as creative as I possibly can, because I know for a fact that I know what I'm doing. I understand the whole basics of the game. The understanding for me is pretty strong there, that I can really kind of mess around when I'm playing and have fun, really kind of experimenting and testing things out. And that's a bit different for me. FIFA is really, it can be a struggle sometimes, especially if I'm losing. It's like I just need to really buckle down my defense and make this something where I can turn this around here. And I don't have control when I play my FIFA games. It's a lot different, and one that's kind of funny for me is like when I play NHL, I feel like I can win and lose. If I'm not on my game, I'm going to lose, but if I'm on my game, 9 times out of 10, the computers are going to be able to beat me on the highest difficulty. That's not the same thing when it comes to FIFA, And you know what? It makes me a better player for it too, because I get to not have that knowledge of thinking to myself, hey, I'm going to be able to beat this. Hey, I'm going to be able to take these guys out. And you can see it here. We played Watford, had a really close game. We're having another one here. We went to extra time, got a great goal there from Suarez, and that really helped us out in this one. And gave us the opportunity to move on to the next round. But that's against Watford, a team that is not even in our league, and we're still having a challenge against them. And we have challenges against other teams too. Season 3 being one specifically where we just had a terrible start to the season. We're unable to recover from that, and I think that's actually gives this a little bit more fresh air. And I think that, you know, the fact that maybe I'm not the best FIFA player helps me out in the long run for creating content, because it's a little bit, you know, up in the air what's going to happen, and I'm pretty honest when it comes to understanding that. So I'm excited to play you guys, because I know for a fact that, you know, I know there's people that are going to challenge me in both games, and I'm very excited to post my wins and losses in that environment. And also, the thing I'm very excited to do too is talk to you guys, and that's the biggest thing I want to do. So if you do have a mic when we're doing the verses, I'd love to jump on a Skype and then get into some wholehearted conversations about what we're playing and just in general video games, and what you think of the future of both either FIFA or NHL. But until then, though, this has been episode 76 of our Liverpool Career Mode series. I'll leave you with the standings. You can check those out. And thank you all for watching. Another episode of these will be up in the near future, though. But until then, thank you guys. See you around.
Arsenal with 43 points. In 5th, Manchester United with 41 points, with a game in hand on the team above. In 6th, Newcastle United with 38 points. In 7th, Tottenham Hotspur with 33 points. In 8th, Stoke City with 33 points, but only behind on goal difference. Bottom of the table, Leicester City with 7 points. And then reading up the table, second bottom, Blackburn Rovers with 10 points, with a game in hand on the team above. Third bottom, Wigan Athletic with 14 points. Fourth bottom, Norwich City with 17 points. Fifth bottom, Queen's Park Rangers with 18 points, but only behind on goal difference.